All right, so what is good, guys? So on this one, I wanted to discuss a bit more on these Halo sales being gone, these daily fetches, touching a little bit more on this topic, actually going over my personal numbers that I have pulled up right here on my computer screen. Now, due to, Amazon's terms of services, I cannot show you those numbers, but I'm going to explain to them, be real as fuck as I can with these numbers, my personal thoughts, my experience, and really just what to expect moving forward, and really just everything that you need to know, because there are people still complaining till this day, and it's been about almost an entire week since this whole change happened. So let's go over all these numbers real quick, my personal thoughts, and really just everything in between on what to expect with the Amazon influencer program moving forward in 2026. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna go over my numbers, my personal experience, how the results have been looking since not having the daily fetch sales any longer, and we'll go from there. All right, so on my screen I have a label on the dates from the March the 10th until now. Now I put it to the 10th because I believe this change happened on the 9th, and I don't know about you guys, but I was still able to run a fetch, I believe, that same morning very early or the night before. So I don't want to include those numbers from that specific day. Now straight up, my on-site numbers have been about the same more or less, so I'm just going to ignore those for this video because those have been just pretty straightforward how they are. So yeah, we won't include those. But on March 10th, I did about $30 something on creator connections, which is honestly pretty low, okay, compared to like some of the other days. So it definitely looked like it made a difference that day for sure, seeing a lower day on creator connections, but it is what it is. Now for March 11th, this one was actually crazy to me. I had a negative $12 day, so I actually lost money from creator connections on that day specifically. So we are seeing those results, we are seeing these effects happening to us with the influencer program in real life time. I mean, I am seeing people say that they lost hundreds of dollars from just their creator connection earnings alone. So pretty intense. And then the next 2 days pretty low as well, 39 20 bucks on creator connection earnings. So it looks like this impact is definitely impacting how we are making our earnings with this program. So fairly low, where I usually make about at the minimum 50 bucks, sometimes 100 bucks a day, with creator connections alone. So yeah, a pretty hit, hard hitter right there for sure. And then weirdly enough, on the 14th, I actually made almost $70 from creator connections. Even my on-site was pretty high up there as well. So it's really hard to determine if the daily fetches are really affecting us that much, like as much as we think, or if it's just something that ebbs and flows regardless of the program, right? Because seeing a $70 day after seeing such low creator connection days, I mean, it's pretty weird. It's some weird data for sure. It would make sense if it was much lower, because then that would tell me directly like, oh yeah, this definitely impacted earnings, no doubt. Seeing low day after low day after low day, but then to have like 3 low days and then just a major day just popping out like that, that's where I was just like, that's very interesting. And so going based off that, I can definitely say that it really just gonna depend on the products that you have reviewed already, right? So if you're the type of person that you probably bought products, you didn't really focus on creator connections, maybe you did Airbnbs, or maybe you did the stuff laying around your house, and that is what your storefront is mainly consisting of, then yes, you are going to see much lower creator connection numbers. I say that because even on my storefront, a majority of my stuff is not even creator connections, okay? A lot of this is still from when I was doing like Airbnbs, stuff from my home, from my parents' home, so stuff like that. And look, stuff from like Airbnbs or even your own home, a lot of that's going to be like major big brands. And a lot of these major big brands, they don't mess with creator connections. They're just so, like, they're too huge to even worry about this stuff, okay? And so I am not surprised that my numbers are like this, because I didn't really focus too much on creator connection earnings until like more recently, okay? And that being said, that is one thing I do want to touch on, is that moving forward, that is a step that you guys will have to take too in order to replace these daily fetch orders, okay? Because I mean, truth be told, man, look, when it comes down to it, the current state of the Amazon influencer program, the way it is right now, this is initially how it should have been since way long ago, okay? Since last year, when people were getting more into creator connections, this is how the program should have been, all right? Like, we should have never had these daily campaign fetch orders to begin with, all right? Like, the fact that Amazon even allowed that we were able to actually, mess with that shit, yeah, it's crazy. And I can't even blame anybody within the program for this shit, because we just got so used to it. Okay, like a lot of people really truly relied on their daily fetch orders to make, you know, that extra gap in income, and so it is definitely a major hit. I would say probably at least 30 to 40% of your actual earnings at this point. I mean, it's a big increase. Okay, so if you were making, I don't know, $1,000 a month, you're probably making maybe $600-700 a month now. And you know, at $1,000 going to that like that, it might not seem like such a big deal, but when you put it at people who are at a bigger scale, like 10,000 a month, and then drop into like 7,000 a month, then you realize that's a major difference. I mean, a $3,000 difference, bro, that covers all my bills. Like, but obviously I'm not making that much, so I'm not at that level. But it just goes to show you, you know, that this thing is definitely impacting everybody. And so, you know, moving forward with this program, right? Because people are still complaining, just still hoping that something can be done about this shit, right? And it's just like, bro, no, like this is it, man. Like this is, like, I keep telling people this shit, like this is the true state of the Amazon influencer program. This is how it should have been from the get-go. We should have never had none of that stuff. And now this is where you truly put your skills to the test. Okay, this is where you truly know what's going to work for you. This is where you truly know, you know, like how your earnings are being reflected from the work that you're putting in. Okay, because now the two things that matter in this program when you're doing all these, you know, videos for Amazon is, for one, your sourcing skills. Now you're going to be tested in the products that you're actually sourcing to purchase or request, and then seeing that reflected on your earnings. Okay, so obviously if you don't see any money coming in from the products you pick, then you probably chose poor products. All right, and then that's just one of the factors. Now another factor too is the quality of your videos, and this is going to be so important going into 2026, because with so many, you know, people in this program, so much saturation, the quality of your video needs to matter. It needs to stand out from the title, the thumbnail, and how you actually shoot the video itself. Okay, and so as long as you can perform in both those aspects, you will fucking do well in this program. Okay, but if you half-ass even just one of them, you're gonna have a rough time competing with everybody else, man. Like the way Amazon influencer program is now, bro, it is more saturated. We've lost the daily fetch orders. You know, quality matters the most, and it's just, you gotta put in that work. That's when it comes down to it. That's what's really gonna fucking matter. You have to put in that work now. See, the thing is that people got so used to these daily fetch orders. Like it amazes me. Like it's crazy that, you know, like right before all this daily fetch with these campaigns started happening, everybody in these groups on social media, YouTube, were all like, oh, Amazon influencer is dead, earnings are down ever since I started this shit, like blah blah blah. And then out of nowhere they started hearing about these daily fetch orders, and then the comments went from this shit is dead, it's not worth it, to like, holy shit, it's back alive, you know, we're making money again, I think I can scale this thing back up. And you know, nothing but positivity all 2025, right? At least that's what I was noticing. Okay, like especially from like all the OGs and shit that were in this game already, like you would see them with such a positive attitude that they were really trying to scale this shit back up. But now it's like, well, damn. Now it's like I actually have to like put in some work, because look, back then, I mean, just from the daily fetch orders alone, you didn't have to do shit. If you already had a decent amount of videos in your storefront, like 1,000, 2,000. You're definitely making some type of extra money just from clicking a few buttons, running those orders, and then making that extra commission, right? And so with that being gone, now you have to make up for that shit and actually put in some work. Now you have to be very strict on the products that you source, because if you don't source the correct products, you are not going to be able to scale up like that in this business, okay? Especially if those certain products that you pick are saturated. I mean, damn, bro, you're going to have a very rough time in this program, okay? And so, like I said, the quality of your video is going to matter the most for sure. So no more half-assing, just grabbing the product and saying, oh, I like this shit. Like, no, you have to, you know, show some B-roll. You have to show the product, use that shit, you know, not just standing around and talking about it. Okay. Like the platform, it has shifted. Okay. Now, yes, you have to put in the work. What you literally put in is literally what you're going to get out of this program moving forward. And I mean, that's how it should have been from the get-go, but it is what it is. And so for those of you who are willing to, you know, stay in this program, you're willing to continue scaling it up, you will do well. Okay, brands are gonna love reaching out to you. They're gonna love, because I mean, look, if you're putting more quality and time into your video, into your content, brands are gonna notice that shit. And when they notice that shit, they're gonna be more, obligated to reach out to you guys and actually work with, more products for you guys. And those who quit, they leave this program, or they just say, screw it, I'm not even gonna bother with it, with this program as much anymore. Well, I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about these daily fetch orders anymore. Like, this is it. Like, this is where your time to shine. This is where it comes into play, bro. Like, we're in the month of March right now. So we still got like 6 months or whatever until like the holidays. So at this point, it all comes down to what you do from here until the end of the year, and you will see those results reflect upon that. Okay, so if you've been half-assing it from here until then, you're gonna see those half-ass results. And if you actually been putting in the work, well, then you're gonna see that shit too, bro. So it's interesting how this platform is gonna play out. I mean, I know everybody has mixed feelings and whatnot, and that is one thing too I do want to mention, is that, bro, it is what it is. Stop worrying about this shit. You're just wasting your fucking time, your energy. I mean, there's people out here really reaching out to Amazon and trying to make this thing go back, and there's just no going back with this shit. Okay, now don't get me wrong, I do wish we had a report at least so we can see what we sold, because that's the only way you're really going to see what's been working for you. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, business needs to continue as usual. Keep shooting the content, requesting the products, uploading these videos, making that money, and then just rinse and repeat. Okay. Another thing too, and I think people forget, is that they're so committed to this on-site creator connections aspect of the Amazon influencer program that they forget that you can actually expand this shit into other ways of making money from the program. Okay, like with the off-site stuff, creating a YouTube channel. I mean, uploading to the UK, Canada, Australia, making a Pinterest thing or whatever, forming a Facebook deals group. Like, there are just so many routes you can take to expand this shit from, that this whole daily fetch orders doesn't need to be the end all thing. All right, like, come on, bro. You need to expand your skills, expand, how you're making your money, because trying to rely on just one stream with this program is honestly dangerous. All right, like me, I have my YouTube channel that's been constantly growing day by day. I mean, we're almost there to the point where we're about to be monetized, so we're about to have that stream of income. Offsite from YouTube is actually looking pretty solid as well, so that's actually been increasing every month. So little by little, that's paying off. I got my UK storefronts and all that stuff that's growing little by little. So we're making some motion out there. We're making something happen. We're not complaining, we're not whining, and we're just getting straight into work. Okay, because at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, just straight up. All right. So, but with that being said, man, like I said, just stop worrying about what you can't control. Focus on what you can control and move forward. All right. It's a done deal with this program and how it is. But hey, it ain't our rules. It ain't our platform. It's Amazon's. And unfortunately, that's just the way the game is. All right. So, but with that being said, guys, I am out. Peace. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Hopefully I didn't come too hard on you guys. And if you have your own opinion about this, be sure to drop it down there in the comment section. I actually love to hear what you guys have to say about this shit. All right. So, but with that, I am out. Peace.